Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Duke of Italy, your favorite lo-fi music YouTuber, and welcome to a little music update for you guys. It has been a few months since I showed you guys my CD collection, and I've gotten a lot more. And there are also a couple that time I didn't actually show you guys. So I just thought I might take the time to update you guys. And sorry if you were expecting more of an introspective video this week where I maybe talk about something or review some project. But it's not happening today because I'm stalling for the next series. I've been very busy with school, so I'm just thought I might as well show this off to you guys. So before I get into any of them, so this is a little playlist mixtape that our good friend Bridget actually made me for Christmas. It's a cute little thing. It's basically like songs they like that they think I would like. So I'll just read off the track real quick. It's Achilles' Last Stand by Led Zeppelin, which I forget what album it's off of, but I know it's not a very good album. But they keep saying to me that that's the only good song on that album. It's like 10 minutes long. It's a pretty good song. And then there's Kill for Love by Chromatics, Oh Green World by Gorillaz. Bridget loves Gorillaz. Eyes Lose Focus by Merkaba. I can't remember correctly because it's been a minute since I've listened to this, but I think Merkaba is an Appalachian black metal band. And Appalachian black metal is kind of an interesting subgenre because it's kind of I almost want to say like left wing leaning, or it's economic influence. It's workers' rights a little bit of the time because there's all the like the redneck like oppression where the coal mines and all that. So I love black metal, and Bridget is from the South and loves the Appalachians. So we kind of connected on that. So Bridget pulled a couple Appalachian black metal tracks on here. There's Dead by the Pixies, Stress by Justice. If you don't know Justice, you've probably seen The Cross in places. It's a bit like Daft Punk. Veil of Darkness by Yule. Django Jane by Janelle Monáe, Always Forever by the Cults, Star Sign by Teenage Fan Club, and Endless Dusk by Order of Leviathan. That's another Appalachian black metal band right there. Assassin, the Grand Omega Bosses edit by Muse, which is really noisy track. I like that one a lot. I'm not a big Muse fan, but I like Radiohead. So if you take like electioneering, I make a joke that Muse just covers electioneering for their whole albums. So that was kind of funny. And This Must Be the Place, Naive Melody by Talking Heads. Bridget loves Talking Heads. Kind of a controversial take. I think we both like Speaking in Tongues more than their other albums, which I've only listened to 2, but I gotta listen to Remain in Light again because when I listened to that album mainly, I was kind of beginning my music listening experience and I just wasn't used to all those sounds. So I got a bunch more CDs here, and I'm just gonna cover ones I haven't listened to first, and then we'll get into ones that I do know. So this first one is Various Positions by Leonard Cohen. I saw this at a thrift store, and it was very cheap. And this is the one with what's the one? Hallelujah on it. And I mean I love that song. It's a great song. The symbolism behind it is gorgeous, and it's way smarter than anything I could ever write. And I mean, biblical references, if you do them right in a song, it's just perfect. So and I've heard this is a great album, so I mean I might as well get it. I know it's like total thrift store, like kind of a obvious find you'd expect there, but it's a cool pick that I found. This is No Need to Argue by the Cranberries. It's I got it for just $3 at a music store. But it's got Zombie and Ode to My Family on it, so I thought I might give it a listen. I love Linger. Linger is like my favorite Cranberries song. I can kind of play it on bass. I mean, I play the chords on bass, and when you play chords on bass, it's that low, like really rumbly tone. But Linger is just such a beautiful song, and I mean, rest in peace, Dolores. But she actually covered the Fleetwood Mac song "Go Your Own Way." I forget what show she did it on, some radio show, but the way she sang is so beautiful, and it kind of reminds me of Linger. So I just thought I might get this to listen to Cranberries. Next, I actually have a bit of a collection of a discography here that I saw this all at the same thrift store, which shocked me. It's some different Spiritualized projects. If you guys don't know, the main guy in Spiritualized kinda was one of the fathers of shoegaze, but around the same time as like Cocteau Twins. A little after like Sonic Youth sort of were getting their mitts in the noisy stuff, and like Jesus and the Mary Chain, you know, all those. But we got Amazing Grace right here. We've got Laser Guided Melodies right here, which there was actually a thread on Mew of what are the best albums to listen to when on, I think, opioids, because they're in like a hospital, and he's like, I'm totally zonked out, I need an album to listen to, and everyone's like, this one. And probably the coolest find, it's this little slip here. If you can't see that, it's what's it called? Effed Up Inside. It's a live album. of theirs from like one of their earlier projects, and the cover is just like three shiny guitar pedals. I think this one right here is like a really old-fashioned like distortion pedal, like the kind that maybe Jimi Hendrix would use, but I think it's kind of cool. Next, I saw this at a music store back home, and I'm like, I gotta get in this group because I haven't yet. This is Boris's Akuma Nuda. If that's pronounced wrong, I don't know how to do it. If you've recognized this album cover, there could be a chance that it's a different album cover and you just didn't notice. This is reminiscent of Nick Drake's Brighter Later, which I also haven't listened to, but I gotta listen. And Boris makes just wonderful stuff. One of the best Japanese bands I can probably think of right now. There are like a few Japanese groups that are like kind of internationally known underground in a way. Internationally underground, kind of a weird thing to say, but they're one of those like big groups that you just know. Like they're one of the main examples why Japan has just such a good music scene. I mean, Merzbow collabs with them all the time, but there's just some very interesting Japanese music scenes, and Boris is kind of the biggest group, I guess, from Japan that goes worldwide. Next, this is Forests Like a Blaze Above the Ashes. It's a really cool looking album. I love this cover. It's like just some weird like mountain scene, and the cover it's like a weird material. It's almost, I almost want to call it like cardboardy, but it's like got like a texture when you like feel it. It's pretty cool. But apparently this is like one of the fathers of like Russian black metal right here, this album. I just saw it in a store, and I'm like, I gotta get it, because if I find a black metal find on CD just at somewhere, the chances are I gotta get it, because like it's so rare to like find a black metal album at just any music store. This album is by the Hafler Trio. It's just the F word, and I'm gonna cover this top here because it is it's genitalia, but this is like an electronic album. I have not listened to it, but I feel like I'm in for some very industrial stuff, like Machine Girl at like the tamest, most likely. And this last album that I haven't listened to yet, I've listened to a little bit of. It's really cool. This is I'm gonna review these two's discography. They've collabed one other time. They're called Martin and Tayte, and this is I might have mentioned this on my last video actually. This is a noise album that my best friend and I we saw at a record store over winter break, and he's like, I'm getting the seat for you for Christmas, because this was just so intriguing. It's a thin little slip, as you can see here, thin little thing, opens on the wrong side, but this is Monkey Cop. There you can see the cover. If you see this, I don't know what you could even imply this is, but that's just the coolest thing ever. I love the credits here. Martin Escalante on sax violence, and Tayte Lagua on bass extortion. Apologies if I said the names wrong, but that's incredible. Those names are phenomenal. I love that. And I've only listened to a bit of the beginning track, but it genuinely sounds like animal noises made with instruments, and after like a minute it's like real noise stuff. And the first track is pretty repetitive, if I remember correctly, but like the bass tones are like super dense and thick underneath. I think kind of like Kejihano. I don't remember how to pronounce his name, but he's like a noise musician that uses like guitars and all these different instruments to like just destroy and just make super cool noises with. But it's kind of that, like on bass, but then the guy who does the saxophone is just playing like as high as possible for as many times as possible, and it sounds a bit like a monkey and like a bunch of other animals like underneath. It's really cool stuff. Really dense sound here. It's kind of harrowing in a way, but it's a cool noise record, and I'm gonna review it for you guys at some point. And now I'm gonna cover the things that I actually know about. First we got Magic One Tricks Point Never by One Tricks Point Never. That album cover is super fun on camera, especially when it tries to focus. Isn't that just wonderful? This is one of my favorite album covers of all time, probably the best one of 2020 at this point. Love this album. Really nice Plunderphonics album, really cool stuff. If you haven't listened to it, you're missing out on probably a really well agreed upon one of the best albums of 2020. So you're kind of doing yourself a disservice. It's a great intro to Plunderphonics. There's a bit of a noise section in there, so if you can't take that, I mean, you're missing out. Just give it a shot. Give it a shot. If you can't listen to the first like 10 minutes and honestly think that it's like just great and soothing, I don't really know what you're doing. Next, this album my friend recommended me, and I saw it at a store for like $4, so I decided to get it. This is Eye Swingers Combustible Edison. This album cover is super weird, but I swear it's a drink. It's an alcoholic beverage, and there's even a recipe for it on the back here. But it's like little jazz tracks, little jazz covers. One guy's on electric guitar on this album, and you got a female singer with a very beautiful voice, and it's just a fun listen. It's pretty tight, around like a half hour long. It's a tight little listen. It's fun. I need to listen to it like again, just like more focused. But it's a fun little thing. I'm not entirely big on the chimes here. Not too big on the so I'm not too big on like the marimba usage here. It's just not really my thing. I think it's not always my favorite like tone. It almost feels a little bit cheesy. And there's a one percussion instrument that I don't know, but it's kind of like a rattle that it sounds like, and that's not my favorite thing. But everything else on here is pretty tight. It's pretty fun. And this is one of my favorite Radiohead albums out there, and I saw it for a pretty cheap price, so I decided to get it. This is Amnesiac by Radiohead. This is probably like my third favorite Radiohead album, maybe like my fourth. I'm not quite sure, but it's either that or OK Computer as that spot right there. It is an awesome track, especially Packed Like Sardines and Crushed Tin Box. It's a really, really fun one. It's it's a weird take almost on the opening track on Kid A, Everything in Its Right Place, where it's the same level of like drone, except instead of it like that. So how I compare Kid A to Amnesiac is I think like Kid A is like the fall, but I think Amnesiac is like the death, with like how dark it is, especially when it starts, because the A side is just brutal. That thing is it's a funeral dirge for like 6 tracks in a row, but it's awesome. I love Packed Like Sardines, but it's like a lower version and like a dead version of that. And then of course you got Pyramid Song. Pyramid Song just it's got like a polyrhythm that is really mesmerizing. First time you hear it, it's gonna trip you out pretty hard. Next we got one of my favorite things ever. This is Quebec by Ween. This is phenomenal. You're doing yourself a disservice if you haven't listened to this thing. So everyone thinks of Ween as Ocean Man, the band. I like this album more than the Mollusk, honestly. Mollusk has some really, really good tracks on there. I love Buckingham Green, for example, but Quebec is just amazing. It's got a gauntlet of some of the most brutal, sad Ween songs that I've ever heard. It's got Captain, and then later it's got Alkin Road, and Captain is brutal. It's one of the saddest things ever. And come on, Happy Colored Marbles. That thing is like it's almost like a message on depression. It's freaking crazy album. Like most people think of Ween as like a joke band, but this thing is like it's almost like literally like the memes of like laughing through the pain. Like cue the dog is like, this is fine with the fire on him. It's like, maybe if I'll make a meme about it and laugh about it, I won't be so sad. And if you could save yourself, it's just great. It's a really nice emotional moment. Up next, we got a real classic, instant classic here. You Won't Get What You Want by Daughters. This thing is awesome. Do I think it's a 10 out of 10? I'm actually not sure yet. I used to, and then re-listening to it in my car, I'm like, not as much, because if you just jump into like the middle, which if you have it in your car, that's a chance that'll happen. This is a very album oriented album. Like, you're supposed to listen to it all the way through. But there are some reasons why I understand why people give it a 10, because the first 3 songs in a row, City Song, Long Road No Turns, and Satan in the Wait, is just a great transition through all of those that works absolutely perfectly, and all of those provide so much ambiance that it just builds into the album. And then the last 2 songs, Ocean Song and Guest House, work so well. Like the Let Me In of Guest House, if you don't love that, I don't know what to tell you. That's some of my favorite lyrics just ever. Really, really good stuff. It's a good introduction to some post-rock, post-hardcore, scary stuff. If you like early Swans, you're gonna love some of this. This is like faster early Swans. Then we got Songs for the Deaf, Queens of the Stone Age. I'm not a massive Queens of the Stone Age fan. I have not listened to Rated R. I've not listened to Self-Titled, or most of their other albums for that matter. But this is a classic. I can play You Think I Ain't Worth a Dollar, but I Feel Like a Millionaire on bass. But I can play. I think I play the guitar part on bass, but I'm not sure. It was one of those songs I was noodling around with, and if I ever have the confidence to scream in front of somebody, I'll probably play that song. Next, we got Clippings' 2019 album, Existed in Addiction to Blood. I was put onto this by my professor my speech professor from my first quarter at college. He put me on a whole bunch of stuff. He put me on a Clouds Collide, for example, and a bunch of really, really avant-garde stuff. He's a big fan of Deaf Heaven. If you guys can find Roy Christopher, I'll probably link his Twitter. He's a really smart guy, really good music critic. He's like Anthony Fantano, if Anthony Fantano is actually good. This is a great album. I love it. I like it actually more than their 2020 release. I just think like overall this thing flows a bit better. It's a little less hooky, which I know like you kind of want hip hop to be hooky sometimes so you can like get into it. But I feel like this is less attached to like living qualities. That's such a weird thing to say, but this has got a real grounding in like death, and a lot of it is based around like just destruction, and some of this is just so brutal. It's really good stuff, and you could easily compare the two albums, but I personally like this one a bit more. Next, got some Mastodon albums for you guys. Got Leviathan and Blood Mountain, both great thrashy, sludgy albums here. I mean, obviously in Leviathan you got Blood and Thunder that just starts it off, and you got Hearts Alive, that massively long track that's just going in and out and in and out and in and out. It's really fun stuff. Actually not sure what I like more, but this album, Blood Mountain's got a special place in my heart. I've only listened to it like a couple times all the way through, but this is really good stuff. I found it for like $5, and if you don't like this album, I don't know what to tell you. Like it is definitely like the unspoken best pick of the Mastodon discography, but it's such a good album. It's like when it starts with what is it, Crystal Skull, Wolf is Loose, like it's got those drum hits, and then it just kills for the rest of the album, just straight all the way through. And some of those licks just out of nowhere are like really proggy and just kind of out of nowhere. Where Crack the Sky is my favorite is my favorite Mastodon album so far. I can't help but tell you that I just love this one. Next, I'm gonna tell you guys straight up, if you get this album on CD and you put it in your car, turn the sound way up, because it is criminally quiet for some reason. This is Spiderland by Slint. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. I love all these tracks to death. Such a cool, quirky album. I mean, their recent Reddit discussion aside, where the bassist for the album was on Reddit, that was a very weird moment in history. Mew kind of went crazy on that, because he did like the soy face, and he was like, "What's up, all you post rock mother effers?" And he was like, "Oh, asking me questions about Slint," and I'm like, "Aren't you supposed to be depressed to make this album?" Everyone else is depressed though. They're not having a good time, but they made an amazing album, and great band. I think they still tour sometimes. Obviously, not right now, but I've heard their tours are amazing. They play like a collection of like their other material from like Tweez, and then they play like this album almost the whole way through. And now it was between this and another album, but this album's more of a meme. I love doing this vocal part. It's the legendary, this is some freaking crazy good art, by the way. If you guys haven't listened to this, I can't blame you, because it is, in terms of like something that you just think of to like listen to, this is a pretty inaccessible release here, and it doesn't even need the bonus track, because there's only one other track. This is The Dope Smoker by Sleep. This thing is a freaking classic. This is one of the best stoner doom metal albums of all time, arguably the best stoner doom metal song, because it's one song. I don't know if you guys know that, but if you do, then you're in on the bit. Great song. Ultra repetitive, but like really thick. When you get into it, you get into it. If you can prepare yourself to listen to an hour straight of the pretty much the same riff, then you're off to the races. You're having a good time. Of course, Holy Mountain is also a great album, but it's a toss-up between the two, honestly. And the last one, this one I actually ordered online just about the time that I actually made the year-end list. This is my number one pick, Uman by Slift. This came from France, I believe. Ordered this. Looks incredible. And I just want to show you guys a CD for this real quick. So like, this is the full cover. It's this man just wading through the stuff, and then the inside art here too is just incredible. Like look at the CD, and look at this man right here, and even better, you can pop the CD out, and you're treated to even more art. I think there's a little pamphlet of something in there. I haven't looked at it in a minute, but I might show it to you guys maybe some other time. I don't really know. Yeah, one last look at the dude, and he's got another sword there. But this is a fantastic album. Think of like King Gizzard plus like stoner doom metal stuff. If you listen to the newest King Gizzard album, LW, you definitely they probably heard this album and they're like, wow, I do want to be a bit more like them. I don't think they hit it quite on the mark. It's a pretty good album though. But it is not Uman. Uman is like just an hour straight of just face crunching, fuzzy psych doom. Really cool stuff. Love that one so much. So that's my little CD update for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, go ahead and comment down below. And if you want, you can also check the description for my social medias. They're linked in there. And if you guys want to talk to me there, I'd appreciate that too. That's about it. So I hope to see you guys next time. Have a good day. Bye.